Hi everyone, I'm Needlecraft Danny and I'm here for my next video. This one is actually not a WIP update, so I don't count it into my floss tube countings. This is a video for the end of the year, so it's an end of year review for 2019. Sorry, I forgot to. End of year review for 2019. It's my planning for 2020. It's a WIP parade. I have everything around here. So, yeah, get yourself some stitching, some coffee or tea. I actually have my cup of tea over here, my super cute Friends cup, because it's a long one. And we're going to sit here for a while. I have a lot to talk to you about. I probably pause in between to just get some things sorted around here to make myself some room to be able to have everything here and to show you everything. So I just might pause in between. You probably won't notice. Yeah, so just that you know what's happening. A big part of the video will actually be talking, so I hope that you don't mind. You will see a lot of projects, but yeah, in between there's a lot of talking. Okay, let's just get started, and yeah, we'll see how long it takes. First of all, review for 2019. I started stitching in March 2019, so all my projects I started this year. It all started, so there's not a lot I can review. There's nothing I had started before and still carrying on through the year, stuff like that. It's all started this year, so I think that's kind of a good thing because the WIP rate is probably a bit faster. But I have some finishes this year, so I thought I will show you the finishes I'd had. There are not a lot, so I think let's do that. So the first thing I finished was Christmas Bag by Shepherd's Bush. All my projects, as well as the finishes, will be linked below. So everything I show you project-wise is in a link in the description box down below. So if you want to check something out, just look over there. Yeah, so Christmas Bag by Shepherd's Bush. I finished it and I also FFO'd it because those instructions were in there as well. So yeah, stitching with my the first beads I ever put on a project. And yeah, my first FFO. It's still not filled, it's completely empty, that's why it's kind of flimsy. But I finished it, so it sits nicely and looks good. This one is stitched, this is a 32 count natural linen and it's stitched 2/2. And the beads and backstitch is attached with one strand of floss. Over here, those were the instructions as well to finish the hem like that. Yeah, super beautiful, super proud. First finish ever. Then I think next I finished the Hello Pumpkin Cell by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. This was a 5-month long cell and I finished quite on time. I think I finished 1 or 1.5 months after the last clue came out. So there we go. This one is stitched on a 28 count 1/1 full cross. Yeah, super cute. This one I want to finish as a pillow, and that's the reason it's still staying in my drawer, because I have not found a good fabric for the back. So yeah, super cute. Yeah, told you everything. Next one is my dragons. Also not yet FFO'd. Those are stitched on a 14 count 2/1. The dragons themselves are stitched with DMC black 310 and the suns are stitched with 817. Here we go, I bring them a bit closer. The coverage is not perfect, but actually it's fine by me. They will get some washing before FFOing, and then there will be a tablecloth, but I also need some fabric first. So yeah, those are those. And then my last finish for the year, which is actually not quite finished yet, is Eat the Chocolate by My Big Toe Designs. Over here. The reason it's not yet fully finished or not yet finished, there are actually going buttons in those squares. On all 4 of those squares, there should be buttons. I have the buttons here, but I have not yet attached them, so technically it's not yet done, but I count it as a finish. This one is on a 32 count white opalescent Belfast linen, stitched 2/2 with the called for gentle art sampler threads. Yeah, that's that one. And that's everything I had or I have finished in 2019. There are still not even 20 days left, 19 days left of 2019, but I won't finish anything else. So yeah, those are the 4 finishes I have. And that's already the first point. I'm going to take a short break and be right back. Okay, so for the next part, I'm talking about 2020. First, some general things about 2020. What the challenges are I'm going to participate, some other stuff, just general announcements. Then I'm going to switch into the challenges a bit more detailed. That's when I show you all my full coverage WIPs. And then I will switch into rotation, and that's when I show you all my non-full coverage WIPs. And then I talk some more about my January plans, more detailed. So yeah, I think that's it. It's a lot of talking to do, so let's get started. 2020 for me is going to be the year of full coverage. I have 11 full coverage WIPs at the moment and 10 non-full coverage WIPs. So my plan is to do a year of full coverage. The Full Coverage Fanatics Facebook group has 2 challenges I'm going to participate. The first one is called 20 in 20, which means 20,000 stitches in the year of 2020. If you 10 stitch, so doing half stitches on your project, you have to double the amount of stitches and do 40,000 stitches on a project. 20,000 stitches a year are a lot, especially with 40,000. If you're doing 10 stitch, that's quite an amount of stitches. I'm going to participate in that one and in another one. The next one is going to be complicated. I try to explain as well as I can, but English is not my mother tongue, so I'm trying my best. This one is called the National Parks Challenge. There are 5 tiers. For each of those 5 tiers, you have 5 parks, 5 national parks. And for every park, you're doing 4,000 stitches. Again, double the amount if doing 10 stitch. So, if you're doing those 5 parks in 5 tiers with each 4,000 stitches, that's 5 by 5 by 4,000. That's 100,000 stitches for all 25 parks, national parks. If you're doing 10 stitch, that's 200,000 stitches over the year. That's a lot. You can actually double dip with the 20 and 20, so you don't have, if you're participating in both challenges, you don't have to do 120,000 stitches. 100,000 are enough, and the 20 and 20, the project you're stitching on, you can post the start and finish picture in the Perks Challenge, and in the 2020. And that's my goal, to participate in those 2 challenges. I have planned out roughly what I'm going to stitch on for all of those perks for the 2020, but I'm coming back to that one soon. I have a lot of WIPs, as I just said. I have 11 full coverage WIPs. I have a new start planned for a full coverage WIP, so I don't need a lot of starts next year. So I made myself a new starts rule. To allow myself a new start, I first need 5 page finishes or 2 complete project finishes, or 1 page finish, 3 page finishes and 1 complete finish. Then I'm allowed to start something. I have a lot of projects kitted. I have a lot of ideas what projects I want to stitch. But most likely I'm going to start some mill kits, because for next year I don't have a lot of treble stitching or projects that are possible as treble stitching, because for treble stitching I often stitch at work. During my lunch breaks, that's okay, but I only have half an hour, so pulling out a full coverage piece doesn't make that much sense for only 20 minutes. During work, I sometimes have the case that I'm in a position that's not needed at the moment, so I can stitch. But those positions can be opened in seconds. So I have to be really present, and I have to be able to just put it away, start working in 20 seconds, stuff like that. So for coverage WIP, it's a bit more complicated. I have more threads, I need more colors, stuff like that. So I'm thinking about taking mill kits, because the beads I can put in my techie box, put it closed, everything's fine. And stitching, I don't need as many colors. So that's kind of the thing I'm presently thinking about. For the start of the year, I definitely have trouble stitching. Or another possibility for starts is, if I finish something, I might finish something similar. If I finish a memorabilia, I start a new one. If I finish one of my smaller kits, I start a new one. Stuff like that. So those are the things I'm thinking about with my starts rule, but I nevertheless want to have pay for my starts and don't get flooded with even more projects. I'm presently at 21. I have 2 starts for the new year already planned. Then I will be at 23. I don't want to go above that. So 23 is fine. That's for starts. I also have a rule for purchases. I'm going to participate in Stitch from Stash. That's another Facebook group, and you set yourself a budget for the semester. They are always from January till June and from July till December. So I'm starting in January with a budget of $25. I'm actually taking dollars because I often purchase from 1-2-3 Stitch, stuff like that. Maybe I switch it to euros, and because next year I probably only need my DMCs. If I run out of a color, I need another one. I try not to buy any stash like charts or materials to kit up a project, because I already have kitted so many projects. I have so many charts. I am 25. I don't know if I can stitch everything I have already kitted up. So I have to stop by stuff. And I want to buy myself something for Christmas next year, but it's super expensive. So I don't want to pay or buy a lot of stuff during this year, so I can buy this one at the end of 2020. A month ago, or maybe 2, I received the chart for my first chatelaine. It's the Japanese garden mandala. I actually don't have it here, but maybe I put it in a picture or something like that. and I want to get the kit for it. If I get the kit from European Cross Stitch, I want to get the kit with all the silks and stuff. The kit gets super expensive. So yeah, I don't want to buy anything next year except for the DMCs that I need for stitching. But nothing else, or at least not a lot more. So I can get that one for my Christmas gift in 2020. I'm presently still participating in the DMC Thread Club from Lakeside Needlecraft in the UK. So every month you get 27 or 28 DMC skeins, and after 18 months you have a complete set. I'm still participating. After you receive the whole set, it actually stops automatically, and mine ends next year in 2020, November or December. So I'm going to continue with that one. It's actually not counting into the Stitch from Stash budget because I'm assigned well before January 2020. So yeah, that one's not counting. Otherwise, I hope to have this monthly budget of $25 and at least save $20 every month to get myself this kit from European Cross Stitch for my chatelaine. So yeah, that's the plan with that one. Those are the general things, I think. I don't think I forgot something. If I did, I'll tell you later. I think that's it. So let's get back to the challenges from the Full Coverage Fanatics Facebook group. And with that one, I mean National Parks Challenge. Because, as I said, there are 25 25 parks with each 4,000 stitches. I have a lot of full coverage projects where I stitch with half stitch or 10 stitch. I set myself a goal or a maximum limit of 180,000 stitches, which means I'm stitching a few full cross projects and a few half stitch projects. So altogether, I will reach 180,000 stitches next year as a plan. That does not mean I will reach it. I highly doubt that, to be honest, but that's the plan. I decided to go for Focus WIP and put that one in the parks and in the 20 in 20 challenge. So I will finish it next year in 2020, and it will take 7 parks and 1 park partly. So I will start the 8th park, and as soon as I'm done with the project, I can post a picture. I'm done now, and I can start with another project to complete this park. I'm now going through all my WIPs in the order that I started them. So the ones I started first are the first, and so on. I will tell you for everything, for every project, how many parks I'm going to complete with them. Those numbers are not written in stone, so I might change. But that's kind of my plan going into the new year. So yeah, let's get started with some WIPs. 20 minutes in. Yeah, the first full coverage piece I started was Colorado Mountains by Golden Kite. And with this one, I'm trying to complete 2 parks because I stitched 10 stitch with that one. That would mean 16,000 stitches. And that's where I'm at with that one. I have presently 1.5 pages done. This one is a 25 count even weave from DMC. And I'm stitching 2 over 1. As I said, 10 stitch. So here we go. Super beautiful. I really love this project, even though it's full of confetti and sometimes driving me crazy. It's turning out beautiful. Okay, I have to find myself some space to put those stuff. Let's take it there. I'm going to sort everything while I talk to you, because otherwise I will go crazy over here. So you might have some breaks between all those projects, just so that I can sort stuff out. The next project, which is going to only complete the park I told you that I'm going to start with my focus WIP, I'm going to complete with this project, and that's the only thing this project will get. So this is the Chimney Sweep, also by Golden Kite. This one is also stitched in 10 stitch. And this is where I'm at with that one, and you can't see a lot because I'm stitching this one extreme cross country, and there are a lot of single stitches down here. Over here I started with a white, which was probably not the best idea, but yeah, that's that one. It's not getting much love next year, so yeah, we'll see. This one is as well a 25 count even weave by DMC in blue or in light blue, and I'm stitching as well 2/1 10 stitch. Yeah, that's that one. I don't know how many stitches there will be in the end. After finishing or starting the park with another project, I think about 5,000, something like that. So not a lot, but better than nothing. And my last Golden Kite is Norwegian Ship Under Sail, the small edition, big enough, and as well by Golden Kite, as I just said. Yeah, that's actually the biggest Golden Kite, and this one will get 2 parks as well, because this one is full cross. That means 8,000 stitches. This is actually a project I have not yet finished my goal for this year, so there might be some more added till I start with the part next year. So hopefully that's actually those last stitches here would get me a page finish. So I hope to get that done this year and then start with a new page next year, something like that. This one is on 18 count Ada, 2/1 full cross, as I just said. So 8,000 stitches for next year should get me the next page finished and started maybe a third one. Oh, and the needleminders, all needleminders you saw till now are from Denkai Designs, and this one is as well. I try to tell you from now on. Yeah, a lot of green, and this green is going to continue, I think, for 2 more pages till I get something else. Yay! That's fun. Yeah, so that's that one. Now that I see it, I really want to stitch on this one some more. I think I did not stitch on it since 24 hours of cross stitch in October, so it's been a while. Let's put it there. Yeah, works. Now to my Heaven and Earth designs. There are a lot. And the first one is actually my focus WIP. This is Mini Winter Rose. Artwork is by Rachel Anderson. And as I said, Heaven and Earth designs. This is the first Heaven and Earth design I started. This is the first one I purchased. And I stitched for this one for another Full Coverage Fanatics Facebook group challenge this year through July till September. Yeah, July till September, every day, at least 100 stitches, and that got me quite a lot done. So this is where I'm at with that one. And I want to finish next year. That would be really cool. For this year, I still haven't finished my goal, and my goal is to finish page 2, which is about here. But time's running out, so I'm not sure if I can do that. But yeah, that's Mini Winter Rose. And as I said, I want to finish this one. It's not like super big, but there's still something to do. This will need 7 perks and a bit, because if I finish the second page this year, I have about 60,000 stitches left. Yeah, a lot. But looking forward. Oh, and this one is on 28 count, 2 over 110 stitch, and a needle minder as well from Denka Designs. So yeah, there's a lot of Krennic in there. I don't know if you can see the sparkle, but there's a lot in there, which is kind of fun. Okay, that's Mini Winter Rose, my focus whip. I don't have a lot of small projects for next year. Most of them are large, most of them are full coverage. And I think I will need some finishes, so that's kind of the reason why I decided to take a focus group. And yeah, I decided on this one because it's actually one of my smallest, and I already have a lot done, as I just showed you. So there's still a lot to do, but nevertheless, I kind of looking forward to it. Next one is Mini Magic Mirror. Artwork is by Anne Stokes. Another Heaven and Earth Designs, as I said. And this one is as well, it's actually on the same fabric, on the second half of the fabric from Mini Winter Rose that I just showed you. And I have not yet done a lot on this one. This is Mini Magic Mirror. I started in the top right corner actually because I tried diagonal parking and it did not work for me. I think it's because there's a lot of confetti in this piece, especially in this right corner. But yeah, it did not work. But now there are a lot of purple threads over there. And I started to work them in. Yeah, but there are still quite a lot. There we go. This one will get 1 perk next year. So as it's a 28 count 2 of 1 with 10 stitch, it will get 8,000 stitches as well. Which is actually more than a page, so that's quite fine. So that's good by me. And let's pack that one in. I'm sorry it takes so long, but I would go crazy if I don't start cleaning up behind me. It will drive me crazy with stuff lying all around here, and especially because I stitch in hand and roll my fabric from bottom to top. It's kind of complicated to have all those open rolls lying around here with all the parked threads going crazy. That's a mess. And so I just clean up while I go. My next project is Dragon Dancer, as well, artwork by Anne Stokes. It's another Heaven and Earth Designs. Super beautiful, super big. This one is stitched on a 32 count 2 over 110 stitch, and I finished the first page a week ago. Needleminder again from Denka Designs, and this one gets 2 parks as well, so 16,000 stitches. Here we go. Did I tell you the needleminder on Mini Magic Mirror? I don't think I did. So let's bring it back out to just show you the needleminder. This needleminder is from Just So Heavenly. I will link that below as well. So, okay, that's Next project, Heaven and Earth Designs. It's called Four Seasons. Artwork is by Jessica, probably. I don't know. That's that one. I'm stitching this one on a 25 count with 1/1 full cross, and that's where I'm presently at. This one will get 2 parks as well, so 8,000 stitches, and the needleminder is again Denka Designs. I bring it a bit closer. Yeah. I'm just started to get from background into like a bit more, but yeah, not a lot done on this one so far. But 8,000 stitches gave me a bit of progress. Oop, here we go. Okay. Then we have Story Keep, the Frog Prince. Artwork is by Melanie Dellen. And this one is a tiny start so far. Stitched on 32 count 2/1 10 stitch. This is where I'm at. Needleminder again from Denka Designs. This will get 1 park because it's 10 stitch, 8,000 stitches. Which is, again, more than a page. So that's fine. This is another one where I have not yet reached my goal. My goal is to finish the diagonal with 10 blocks. So the 10th diagonal, I presently have 3. So we'll see if I finish that goal for this year. But maybe at least a bit more progress would be nice. Then we have Mini Katie and Cruncher. While I was stitching on this one, I decided to take a focus whip, and there was not a lot missing till I had taken this one. But because Mini Winter Rose was the first one I started, I decided to take that one, and this one will be maybe 2021. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, Mini Katie and Cruncher. Artwork is by Hannah Lynn. And this one is stitched on 25 count 2/1 10 stitch. Here it is. This one will get 1 park as well with 10 stitch. That's 8,000 stitches. So again, more than a page. Here we go. Then we have another mini. This one is Mini Cinderella. Artwork by Alexandra Daw. And this one is stitched on a light blue fabric because there's a lot of white in that project and I did not want to stitch white on white. So I decided for light blue. This is a 28 count 1/1 full cross. Needleminder again from Denka Designs. And this project will get actually 2 parks, so again 8,000 stitches. Here we go. Small start on this one. Not a lot done, but that's the case for most of my projects because during arbitrary August I had a lot of full coverage starts and then did not stitch on them again until my 24 hours of cross stitch, and then I did not stitch on them again. So yeah, not a lot of progress on most of them. My last WIP for full coverage is Supersize Max Color Cliffhanger. Artwork is by Amy Stewart. And this one I'm stitching on a 40 count 1/1 10 stitch. Here it is. Finished the first page and I'm presently working at the second page. That's actually the WIP I'm working on this week to finish the goal, and the goal is to nearly finish the second page. Next year it will get 2 parts, so 16,000 pages. That's another 2 pages done. Nearly 3. So yeah, good progress on that one. And then we have 2 parks left. And those last 2 parks will be on supersized Once Upon a Fairy Tale Max Colors. That one was released about a month ago, or not even a month ago. And there's a whole stitch along starting January 1st, because this will be the new year, new start for a lot of people, and for me as well. And then will get 2 parts put into. I will be starting this one on a 40 count antique white Newcastle linen, and that's the fabric. I'm already having it, so I can start January 1st. So in 20 days. Woo! I'm really looking forward to this one because a lot of people have already started it and it's looking so gorgeous. So yeah, I'm going to stitch on that one in January. But for my January plans, we get to that one later. Okay, that's for coverage. Again, I'm going to pause, put stuff away, because my table is like overflowing, and then we'll go to non-full coverage. So yeah, see you in a second. Okay, my rotation for the year 2020 generally will be a lot of full coverage. So I decided to put every month 5 days with a non-full coverage WIP. Next year, due to the 29 days in February, actually every month has 1 day of the week 5 times. At least 1 day of the week 5 times. So for January, for example, that's Friday. So it works that I just put 1 weekday for a month, and on every time that weekday comes around, I stitch on a non-full coverage WIP. First thing on those days that I stitch non-full coverage will be the Temperature Garden by Stitchin' Mommy. That will be a new start for me next year. Temperature Garden, that's what it looks like, and the thing with that one is for every day you have 1 leaf of a flower, which means every day you check the temperature, the highest temperature that day, go to a table, and there is a color, a DMC color for every temperature, and then you stitch that color depending on the temperature that day. That picture is actually the one Stitchin' Mommy stitched for the year 2017, depending on the temperature in her area. I will link Stitchin' Mommy below. She has a floss tube as well, with a lot of videos and a lot of great tutorials actually, and she has her own patterns as well in her Etsy shop. So that's that one, and I'm going to start this one next year. When exactly, I will be showing you that when I'm talking about my January plans. So this one will be the first thing I stitch on during those 5 days every month, to just get caught up or stay caught up. So the first day of the month will actually always be the stems and the name of the month and all the leaves I already can stitch. And then I'm going to take another one of my non-full coverage WIPs. So now I show you those, again in the order that I started them. So my first ever cross stitch project that I started is something I got from my LNS. It's by Rico Designs. It's a kit, and I call it my lavender garden because it does not have a name. And this is where I'm at with that one. It's actually a tablecloth, a big one, and you stitch around the middle. So here we go. I finished half of this side. I finished this side completely, and now I'm on the third one, and I did something about a third of the third side. My plan for this year actually was to complete the whole side of the tablecloth, but I'm not sure if I can manage that. For next year, I already set goals for every project. As I just told you with the full coverage WIPs, it's how many parts I'm going to stitch on. For my non-full coverage WIPs, there are different goals. I have a goal to reach till the end of June, and then a goal to reach till the end of the year. During the middle of the year, so end of June, beginning of July, I will re-evaluate if I can finish the goals for the end of the year. Or if it's just pure nonsense and there's no way I can do it. For Lavender Garden, as I just said, I want to finish this side this year. Next year, for the first half of the year, I want to finish side 4. And then till the end of the year, this half side to completely finish the project. We'll see. I'm telling you the goals, and if I can do it or not, we'll see. Probably, definitely, not all of them. But it's always good to have goals, don't you think? I think it's good to have goals, especially for me, because I'm a really goal-oriented person. So yeah, it's a good thing to have some goals. And if I can manage them or not, that's something we will see. Okay, next one is a dimensions kit. It's called Tiger Chilling Out, and the designer is Matthew Hillier, something like that. I'm sorry if I butchered the name. I forgot something about Lavender. I think it's probably a 14 count, something like that. It's stitched 2/1, and the coverage looks like 14 count. The needleminder again is from Denka Designs. Sorry, I bumped the camera. Next, Tiger Chilling Out dimensions kit, and with this one, I had some great goals this year, and I was on a good track. And then I realized this part has to be frogged. I have not yet done it. Because I just don't want to. But I have to frog this one. So my new goal for this year is to frog all of this. And then to finish by June next year, 3 columns, and then another 3 columns till the end of the year. This one is an 18 count Ada, stitched 2/1, mostly, especially in the tiger. Down in the water, it's with 10 stitch and 3/1, stuff like that. But in the tiger, it's 2/1 on an 18 count Ada. Yeah. Needleminder is from Denka Designs, and I'm not looking forward to stitching on that one again because I first have to frog. Yeah, I'm 1 stitch off. It's kind of annoying, but yeah, that's the way it is. The tiger itself is super pretty, and I love how it turns out, but I have to frog a lot. I don't want to. I really don't want to. But yeah, that's how it goes. That's my tiger chilling out. He's chilling out some more because I don't want to stitch on it. So he's just sitting there and waiting. Next project is actually one of my favorites. It's Lilac Fairy. It's a Vivako kit. And I finished my goal on her, I think, last week. For this year. That's what she looks like right now. This one is 14 count Lilac Ada. And the flowers and the fairy herself, the motifs are all stitched 2/1, and the background is stitched 1/1. My goal was to complete the background, and that's what I did. So my goal for the first half year is to complete the top half, so the fairy down to her waist, and then the goal till the end of the year is to completely finish her. That would be nice to have her as a finish next year because she's beautiful. She has a really good size to frame and really hang it as a wall hanging. So yeah, that would be great. And she's so beautiful. and nice to stitch. So I really love this project. Okay, next one. I don't have a picture because the next one is actually consisting of more than one project, at least for me. The next one is the Joyful World Cell by the Sunflower Diaries, and it's a freebie on her blog. It will be linked below, and I already have some finished. I will show you all the finished, then I show you the one I'm presently working on, and the other ones are then just surprise next year. So I finished July. Bring it a bit closer. I finished August. Oops. They're all, just show you the back of this one. They're all folded in a way and ironed in that way, so I can switch them out in and out of the frame really easily. So that's August. There are some lazy daisies on that one. Beautiful flowers. Then we have September. We have October. Oops. We have November. And December is actually in the frame behind me. Here's December. Try to do it without a glare. I don't think it's possible. And I'm presently stitching on January. If you wondered about the names of the month, I'm stitching those in German, so that's why they don't match to what I said. January as well. So, okay, the needleminder is from Denkai Designs. They are all stitched on the same fabric. That's a 32 count Belfast linen in the color Silvery Moon. And I stitch all of them with the called for gentle assembler threads, and in most of them there are 1 or 2 colors of DMC. So, my goal for this one, till the end of June, is to finish all of them. As I just showed you, after January there are 5 others left. So you should be able to do them to finish every month before the month actually appears, so I can have it on display for the 1st of every month. So, for example, January I'm stitching in December, so I can have it on display on the 1st of January. Yeah, that's that one. Next is Royal Games #1 by Mirabilia. That's what it's supposed to look like when it's done. And that's where I'm presently at. This one is stitched on a 32 count white opalescent Belfast linen with the called for DMCs. The rose is actually completely done. There are all the beads already in. And in the crown, I think I started with some cranny up in the crown. The needleminders are both from Denkai Designs. This one is like a tacky bob, so you can pour your beads on there and they stay. Yeah. My goal for the first half of the year is to finish the Queen of Hearts. And for the second half of the year is to finish it completely. It's not super big, especially for a Mirabilia. It's kind of a smaller one, so there's not a lot to do. Still something, but not a lot. So should be possible to finish till the end of the year, I hope. In a few days I have planned for non-full coverage groups. Yeah, next are having some troubles with the needleminders here. Okay. Next are the tiny. Here we go. the tiny Christmas stockings ornaments. There are 30 of them, and I already finished 3. I have not yet started a 4th one, but I just show you those 3 I finished. I finished Merry Christmas to You, an angel, and a dog. So for the first half of the year I want to finish 8 of those, and for the second half another 8. So I will have 19 done at the end of the year from out of 30. So that's kind of next one is Wedding Birds by Nikki Pattern. That's that one. That's the one I'm stitching for my boyfriend's sister. She's getting married next year. So I want to finish it in the first half of the year to get it to still have time to frame it. That's where I'm presently at. This one is stitched on a 22 count 2/1 full cross. The tree is stitched with B5200, the birds and the heart in the tree with 817, and the names and date I'm going to stitch with some gray. I'm not yet decided which one. So yeah, here it goes. Not super big, but still a lot to do. Oops. Here we go. As I just said, I want to finish it in the first half of the year because she's marrying in August, so yeah, I have to finish someday. Yeah, that's that one. I realized I did not tell you for the Christmas stockings, those. They are stitched on a 14 count Aida, and the pieces of Aida are 3.5 inches wide and 4 inches high. So that's kind of that you have the measurements and you know how big they are or how tiny, because they're called tiny stockings ornaments. So yeah, they are tiny. Okay, next project is the Twisted Band Sampler by Northern Expressions Needlework. There we go. And this is where I'm at with that one. It's stitched on a 32 count Belfast linen in white opalescent with the called for dinky dies, 1/2. And I'm having some problems with my needle here. I'll show you in a second. Okay. The needleminder is from Denkai Designs, and I have finished band number 3 for this year's goal. There's always one cross stitch band, then a band of specialty stitches, and again cross stitch band, and so on. For the first half of the year, I want to finish band 5, so one more specialty stitches band and one more cross stitch band. Until the end of next year, I want to finish band 8, so specialty cross stitch specialty band, and then I'm about half done, not completely, but about half done with that project. So yeah, that's that one. There's a conversion for Overa Soie, for dinky dies, and for DMC, and as I said, I'm going with the dinky dies. Okay, we're close to finish with the WIP Parade. Next one is the Raven Queen by Mirabilia. That's what she's going to look like when she's done, which will take a long time. And this is where I'm presently at with her. The fabric is a 32 count Belfast linen in some sort of gray. I think it's pearl gray, but I'm not sure. And that's my teeny tiny start. I started her, and that was my goal for this year, and then I packed her away. And that's the reason why I don't want to start a lot next year, because that's kind of sad. The needleminder is from Denkai Designs again. And yeah, that's my teeny tiny start. From her breast to her crotch. But that's just kind of how it worked out, because I started in the middle and started to work my way to the top. So yeah, next year's goal. As I just told you, I started in the middle, worked my way up here. So for the first half of the year, I want to work my way to the turret. So probably over her arm into the turret. No, I'm wrong. I started over here and worked my way up here. So yeah, that was the plan. I started over here, worked my way up this side. So I want to work my way over her arm into the raven and to the turret. And for the end of the year, I want to reach the top border and then start from working from top to bottom. Yeah. Again, I show you where I'm at. Not a lot, but a bit. On a big piece of fabric, because she's really big. There's quite a lot to do on her. But she's beautiful. She really is. Okay. Last project is Sleepy Hollow by Glendon Place. That one is so gorgeous and so big. I'm stitching it on the cord for cashel linen, 28 count cashel linen by Pictures Plus in the color Haunted. So that's where that one is. Again, the needleminder is from Denka Designs. And yeah, there's not a lot done again. So my mid-year goal is to have half of the top border done. So not a lot, but with all the beads and backstitch and everything. And for the end of the year, I want to finish the top border and have at least started down my way down the tree. That's the only project I'm stitching an anchor, because it's called for an anchor. There is a DMC conversion on there, but yeah, for me it's easier to get anchor here in Germany, so why not stitch it with anchor if it's charted in anchor? So yeah, that's Sleepy Hollow, a beautiful piece, big piece that I'm not going to finish anytime soon, but it's gorgeous, and the fabric is gorgeous as well. So yeah, tiny start on this big fabric. And those are all my WIPs. So let's talk about it a bit more in detail. What my plans are for those non-full coverage ones, or what my plans are for the rotation going into next year in general. As I just told you, I'm having 5 days a month for my non-full coverage pieces. But I have great goals for all of them, as you just heard. That might not work. I'm quite sure it won't work. But as I said, I'm going to reevaluate all my goals in the middle or mid next year, when I probably do another WIP Parade. Not sure yet, but probably. It's kind of the goal. So, yeah. On all other days, on those full coverage days, I'm going to start my day with 30 minutes on Joyful World by the Sunflower Diaries, just so that I can get every month done. That's working really good at the moment. I'm presently stitching 30 minutes a day on this one, and I'm close to finishing mid-month. So that's something I'm going to continue with, because then I would be done end of May with the Joyful World. So I would have reached my goal. That's a good thing. Thereafter, I'm going to stitch on full coverage pieces. As I told you, with all my 10 stitch projects and stuff, I have to, or if I want to complete all challenges, I have to complete 180,000 stitches next year on full coverage pieces. I took all the days of the year and I took all those days I'm going to stitch on non-full coverage out of the map, and then I divided it. How many stitches do I have to do every day to complete my goal? Every day I have to complete 630 stitches to reach the goal. That's a lot. That really is a lot. But that's okay by me. I'm going to try to stitch 630 stitches every day, except for the non-full coverage days. And I'm going to have 4 focus pieces regarding the full coverage ones every month, so I can choose whatever I feel like stitching, because if I am going to do over 600 stitches every day, I have to feel the project. I cannot stitch on something I don't want to stitch on. That's not going to work. So I have 4 projects every month, and I can choose whatever I like to stitch on. Yeah, that's the plan. 600 stitches I'm going to do nevertheless if I'm doing full cross or 10 stitch. I'm always doing those 630 stitches. I have to take a sip of tea because I start to feel my throat. I'm talking a lot. But yeah, that's the plan. Shuffle world cell for 30 minutes, thereafter 630 stitches on a full coverage piece, except for 5 days a week. I'm going to stitch on temperature garden first to get caught up, or to stay caught up, and then stitch on another non-full coverage route. For treble stitching, I'm trying to take those projects I'm not yet done with a goal, but as I've said before, full coverage just does not work. There might be the case that I take 2 projects with me to work, some full coverage and some non-full coverage. The full coverage in the lunch break and the non-full coverage while working or while not working but on standby. But if I do, those will be small full coverage ones, and I don't have a lot of them, so we'll see. First of all, or for January, we're now into January plans, by the way. For January, I'm going to take the Wedding Birds by Nikki Pattern as my travel stitching, because I presently have them as my travel stitching. That works really great because I only need 1 color. I only need the B5200 to complete the tree, and thereafter I can start with the other colors. So yeah, that one works really well. I'm going to continue this one as my travel stitching as long as I need to till it's done, because this one has to be done. It has a deadline, so I need to work on this one. And thereafter I'm going to look what I'm going to take as travel stitching, because this one will take another few months, so no hurry. For January, the non-full coverage days are the Fridays. So the first one will be the 3rd of January, and that day I will start the temperature garden by Stitchin' Mommy. So on the 3rd of January, this one will be started. I don't know yet the fabric. I have some on order. This will be my last order for a long time coming in. I think I have 2 fabrics in there just to have the possibility to choose. I think a 25 and a 28 count, something like that. It's going to be. Yeah, that's going to be started on the 3rd of January, and then stitched on every non-full coverage day, as long as I'm not caught up. And if I'm caught up, I'm going to switch. And for January, I'm going to switch to Wedding Birds, just to get a good head start on this one, have a lot done, and maybe finish even before May. That would be really great, because then I just have a lot of time to fully finish it, to think about finishing it, maybe doing a pillow or a wall hanging, something like that. I just have the time thereafter. As I've said before, new year, new start will be all these piles of stuff. Having some problems here. New Year, New Start will be supersize max color Once Upon a Fairy Tale. And I'm going to stitch on this one for 2 days, and then I'm going to switch to the temperature garden. Yeah, for my full coverage, my 4 full coverage pieces for every month. The 4 I chose for January, as I just told you, supersize max colors Once Upon a Fairy Tale. Just because I already started, so I can just continue with it till I finish maybe the first park already. That would be really great, but I don't think so. But yeah, that's one of those. The second one is my focus piece, Mini Winter Rose. That's kind of obvious. Then we have 4 Seasons. And the last one I decided to take is Mini Katie and Cruncher, because there's another challenge in the full coverage fanatics Facebook group, but it's more like a stitch along. So it's the Stitch Around the World cell. So every month there's another country chosen, and you stitch on something related to that country. So for January it's Australia, and I decided to go with Mini Katie and Cruncher because there's a shark in it, and I kind of relate sharks to Australia. So yeah, that's going to be in that one, and that's the reason why that one is in the mix. Even if I don't stitch a lot on it for, yeah, I only need 8,000 stitches for the whole year, so. But I'm going to stitch on that one for January. Okay. And I think that's actually it. Those January plans were fast. I think I told you everything. Yeah, I did. So yeah, I'm actually finished. I can't believe it. It's only 1.5 hours. I think. I don't know. Yeah, that's actually it. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, I know that some of that was kind of complicated, maybe especially in the way I told you. But that's kind of the case because English is not my first language, so it's not always that easy for me. And I know you always hear it that English is not my first language because I have a very German accent. I know that. I hope you nevertheless liked the video and enjoyed watching. Yeah, maybe you want to join in with the year of full coverage. I don't know. Just tell me. I'd be happy to stitch along with you. Yeah, and I see you next time.